Hi everyone. In previous video, we have discussed about the process of chemical digestion in mouth and also the process of peristalsis in esophagus. In this video, we are going to continue with chemical digestion in human body and we are going to discuss about the process of chemical digestion in stomach. Okay. Now, as we have already discussed in previous videos, we know the different parts of alimentary canal. First, we ingest food in our mouth, okay, and from mouth, the food goes to esophagus. And we already know that the process of chemical digestion starts from the mouth, okay. Now, from mouth, the next part of the alimentary canal is esophagus, which is also known as food pipe, okay. And from food pipe or esophagus, the food now goes to the next muscular bag-like organ, okay. This is actually the organ which is actually a bag made up of thick and strong muscles, okay. So and this organ is known as stomach. So stomach is actually a muscular bag-like organ present in the human alimentary canal, okay, human alimentary tube or alimentary canal, okay. Now what happens is, this is esophagus, okay, and next to the esophagus, this big bag-like structure or this bag-like organ is actually stomach. Now, when food comes to esophagus, to the lower end of the esophagus, the food enters inside the stomach. Now, at the junction of this esophagus and stomach, the circular muscles are present and these muscles are known as sphincter muscles, okay, S-P-H-I-N-C-T-R-E. So, these muscles are known as sphincter muscles. So, these muscles, the function of these muscles is to simply, regulate or to control the opening and closing of stomach. So when food comes to the lower end of the esophagus here, what happens is food goes to the stomach, or food is actually passed on to the stomach, okay, with the help of sphincter muscle. So this sphincter muscle will actually open up the stomach so that food can easily enter inside the stomach. Now what happens is the stomach is actually having a strong and muscular wall. So stomach is the organ, okay, it is the hollow bag-like organ, and this organ is having very strong and muscular walls, okay. One point to be noted here is, we have already discussed about mainly two types of digestion in human body, mechanical digestion and chemical digestion, okay. So stomach is actually the part of alimentary canal where both mechanical as well as chemical digestion of food occurs. How it happens, I'm going to explain you. Mechanical digestion is a digestion in which the large pieces of food are actually broken down into smaller pieces so that the surface area of the food can be increased and the enzyme actions on them, or you can say the enzyme action of the food can become faster or easier. Okay, so in mechanical digestion, there's no chemical change, just the large pieces of food are broken down into smaller pieces. Okay, now what happens is, when food comes to the stomach, for example, these are the large pieces of the food. Okay, when these large pieces of food comes to the stomach, okay, these food particles or these large pieces of food are actually present in the stomach. Okay, the wall of the stomach, okay, the muscular wall of the stomach actually produces gastric juice. What it produces? It produces gastric juice. Okay. Now what happens is, in order to digest these food in the stomach chemically, okay, in order to perform chemical digestion of the food present in the stomach, this food should, completely, or this food should properly get mixed with the gastric juice. Okay. Note the point, in order to perform the proper chemical digestion of food which is present in the stomach, the gastric juice should properly mix with the food. Okay. So what happens is, the muscles of the stomach, I've already told you that stomach is having actually strong and muscular walls. So the muscles present in the wall of the stomach, okay, the muscles which are present in the wall of the stomach, they contract and relax. Okay, they continuously contract and relax in order to churn the food. Okay, churn the food. The meaning of term churn the food is breaking down food into smaller pieces and mixing it with gastric juice. Okay, so the muscles of stomach contracts and relax in order to churn the food, and it will mix it with gastric juice. Okay. So this is actually mechanical digestion. In mechanical digestion, the stomach wall, okay, the muscular walls of the stomach, they contract and relax and they help in churning of the food, and they mix this food present in the stomach with the gastric juice, and gastric juice is again produced by the stomach. Okay, so this is called mechanical digestion. This is the example of mechanical digestion. Okay, and this food, the paste of the food, now it has actually, as the food is already churned, okay, by the muscular walls, so food has turned into the paste. Now this paste of food which is present in the stomach mixed with gastric juice is now known as chyme. It is called chyme. Okay, chyme, chyme. Okay, so this was mechanical digestion. Now what is the composition of gastric juice? Gastric juice actually helps in chemical digestion of the food which is present in the stomach. So gastric juice mainly consists of mucus. Okay, it consists of hydrochloric acid and an enzyme which is called pepsin. Okay, so gastric juice is actually having three components, and these are mucus, hydrochloric acid and pepsin enzyme. Now here you can look at the picture. This is just to explain you that there are different cells present in the inner lining of the stomach. Okay, so inner lining of the stomach is actually made up of tissue, obviously. So there are different types of cells present in this particular tissue. Okay, so there is one particular type of tissue which or cell which is called goblet cell. Okay, and these goblet cells make mucus. So this one is actually the goblet cell. Goblet cells secrete mucus, and once mucus is produced, this mucus completely covers the inner lining of the stomach. Okay, so mucus covers the inner lining of the stomach. There are second type of cells which make the enzyme pepsin. Okay, so there are second types of cells. For example, this one. So this is a cell which forms the enzyme pepsin. Okay, and there are third type of cell which produces or which secretes hydrochloric acid. Okay, I'm going to tell you the function of these three little later. First, understand gastric juice mainly consists of mucus, then enzyme pepsin and hydrochloric acid. Okay, and there are these three types of tissues present in the wall of the stomach. Okay, and these tissues, they make one type of tissue or one type of cell makes mucus. Okay, after mucus is made, mucus covers the inner lining of the stomach. Okay, and there are actually another type of cell which produces the enzyme pepsin, and third type of cells, they make hydrochloric acid. Okay, understood? Now these three together, that is mucus, pepsin and hydrochloric acid together forms the gastric juice. And remember, this gastric juice helps in the chemical digestion of the food which is present in the stomach. Now what happens is, first we'll talk about this enzyme pepsin. Okay, pepsin is actually a type of protease enzyme. Okay, what is pepsin? Pepsin is actually a protease enzyme. We have already discussed the three categories of enzymes. One was carbohydrates. Carbohydrates are the enzymes which helps in digestion of carbohydrates. Protease are the group of enzymes which helps in digestion of proteins. Okay, and lipase is actually a group of enzymes which helps in digestion of fats. Okay, so pepsin is a type of protease enzyme. Now, as we know protease, that means pepsin helps in the digestion of protein. Okay, so what this pepsin enzyme will do, this pepsin enzyme helps in the digestion of protein, and it will convert or it will digest protein into peptides or polypeptide chain. Okay, it will digest protein into peptides or polypeptide chain. We have already discussed in the previous videos that if there is any protein molecule present in the food, okay, so that protein molecule after complete digestion will convert into amino acids. Okay, that protein molecule after complete digestion will get converted into amino acids. Now if you look at this particular picture which is displayed on the screen here, so there are different small bead-like structure. Okay, for example, this is orange, this one is blue, then we have red, Okay, this one is maybe light green. Okay, again orange or yellowish. Okay, so all these small, all these small beads. Okay, one single bead represents one amino acid. Okay, what it represents? One amino acid. Now, what happens is different types of amino acids, they link with each other and they a make a peptide chain. Now, if you look at the second picture here, the picture which is encircled, okay, so this is one amino acid, first one, this is second, okay, this is third amino acid, this one is fourth, this one is five, okay, and this is another chain, 1, 2 and 3, okay. So if you look here, in first chain there are actually total 5 amino acids, and in the second chain there are 3 amino acids, okay. So these amino acids together link with each other and they form peptides. Peptides, or you can say polypeptide chain, okay, polypeptide chain. Poly means many, and this particular term peptide is actually a type of bond, okay. So the bond which is formed between these two amino acids is known as peptide bond, okay. So between first and second amino acid there is a peptide bond. Between second and third amino acid, this is a peptide bond. Between third and fourth also we have a peptide bond. Similarly here also between first and second, and again between second and third we have a peptide bond. So as in one particular chain we have many peptide bonds, this is known as polypeptide chain, okay. That means the chain which consists of amino acids, and in this chain there are many peptide bonds, okay. So that's why it is called polypeptide chains. Okay, so what happens in stomach is, what this pepsin enzyme will do, we have the complex protein molecule which we have actually consumed in a food, okay. So this pepsin enzyme actually digests or converts this complex protein molecule into the peptide, into the polypeptide chains, okay, into the peptides. You can simply write peptides or you can write down polypeptide chain, okay. So this is the function of pepsin enzyme. And remember, pepsin is a kind of protease enzyme. Now the next component of gastric juice is hydrochloric acid. Now we all know that HCl is an acid, okay. And we know that hydrochloric acids are actually corrosive in nature. Not hydrochloric acid, all acids are generally corrosive in nature, okay, like sulfuric acid, nitric acid, hydrochloric acid. So these are corrosive in nature, they can easily burn the skin. Okay, so gastric juice also contains hydrochloric acid. Now this hydrochloric acid should not harm the inner lining of the stomach, isn't it? Because the walls or the cells of the stomach are actually producing hydrochloric acid. So this hydrochloric acid actually should not harm, or it should not actually, destroy or damage the cells present in the inner lining of the stomach. Hence, the wall of the stomach also releases mucus, okay, and this mucus covers the inner lining of the stomach, okay. This mucus will cover the inner lining of the stomach, okay, and in this way actually mucus forms the barrier between the inner lining of the stomach and the hydrochloric acid, okay. So hydrochloric acid is not able to come in direct contact with the inner lining of the stomach, and hence inner lining of the stomach is protected by the mucus. Now we know that hydrochloric acid is corrosive in nature, but still it is produced in stomach, so definitely it must be having some very important function, okay. So there are two very important functions of hydrochloric acid. First function is, we have already studied in unit 5 enzymes, okay, that all enzymes, for their proper functioning, they need two essential things. One is optimum pH and one is optimum temperature, okay. So all the enzymes present in the living organisms, not only human beings, in all the living organisms like plants or microorganisms, so every enzyme requires optimum pH and optimum temperature for its proper function. Now in stomach, pepsin enzyme is released, okay. This pepsin enzyme works only in the acidic medium, okay. Remember, this pepsin enzyme can work only in the acidic medium, okay. Hence what happens is, stomach releases hydrochloric acid, and this hydrochloric acid provides acidic medium to the pepsin enzyme. Okay, this hydrochloric acid in stomach provides acidic medium for the proper functioning or for the proper working of pepsin enzyme in stomach. Okay, in exam, if they ask the question, what is the function of hydrochloric acid? So you must mention this term, optimum pH. Okay, if you write down that hydrochloric acid provides optimum pH for the working or functioning of pepsin enzyme, you will get marks. Okay, so keep this point, particular point in your mind. In enzyme, if they ask in exam, if they ask the function of hydrochloric acid, you should mention optimum pH. Okay, and the pH at which generally pepsin enzyme is functional is 2. Okay, so pepsin enzyme is functional at pH 2. 2 is actually the optimum pH for better, or for the proper functioning of pepsin enzyme. So first function of hydrochloric acid is hydrochloric acid actually provides optimum pH for the functioning of pepsin enzyme. Okay, and the second function of hydrochloric acid is the food which we eat. Okay, sometimes we eat pani puri at hawkers, or sometimes we eat food outside, and even at our home we are not sure that the food which we are consuming is completely free of microorganisms. So sometimes if we ingest any harmful pathogen or any harmful bacteria, pathogen means disease causing microorganisms. So if we ingest any harmful bacteria or harmful pathogen, so this hydrochloric acid present in the stomach actually kills these harmful bacteria, or it will kill the harmful pathogens. Now, how it will kill the harmful pathogen? This is important point. This hydrochloric acid enters inside the body of microorganism. Now we know that all these microorganisms are unicellular. There is only a single cell. So this hydrochloric acid actually enters inside the body of these microorganisms or harmful bacteria. Okay, and then it denatures the enzymes in their body. This we have already studied in unit 5. What is the meaning of denature? The meaning of term denature is changing the shape or changing the structure of the active site. Okay, changing the structure of the structure or shape of the active site of the enzymes, so that substrate molecule cannot fit into the active site, and hence no reaction will take place, isn't it? So hydrochloric acid actually kills the harmful bacteria or pathogens which we have ingested in a body. Okay, and how it does that? It does that by denaturing the enzymes present inside the unicellular bacteria or pathogens. Okay, so these two are the functions of hydrochloric acid. In exam, if they ask, you must mention that first one is hydrochloric acid provides optimum pH for the faster or proper working of pepsin enzyme, and second, it kills harmful bacteria or pathogens by denaturing the enzymes in their body. Okay, and the last point about stomach is when we talk about infants, very young babies, or even human babies, or the babies of other mammals. Okay, so the moment human baby takes birth, the baby starts feeding on the milk. Okay, now the breast milk or the cow milk or any other animal's milk, the milk contains a protein which is known as casein. Okay, milk is actually having a protein which is called casein. Casein is called milk protein. Now the digestion of this milk protein requires the presence of enzyme which is known as rennin. Okay, so in the stomach of young mammals, or including human beings, in the stomach of young mammals including human beings, another enzyme called rennin is present. Okay, pepsin comes little later. Okay, in the initially in the few days, enzyme is present which is called rennin, and this rennin helps in the digestion of a milk protein called casein. Okay, now the actual role of this rennin enzyme is to curdle or to coagulate. The meaning of this term coagulate is to clot. Okay, to clot the milk protein. Okay, so the actual function of this rennin enzyme is to actually curdle or to coagulate this milk protein present inside the milk. Okay, and later on these small clots of the milk protein are digested by the pepsin enzyme. Okay, and this rennin enzyme is also known as chymosin. Okay, it is also called chymosin. Understood? So only this much you have to study about stomach as per IGCSE syllabus. I hope you people are clear with it. If you have any doubt, you can just mention all your doubts in the comment section, and definitely I will revert back. Okay. In next video, we will discuss about chemical digestion in small intestine. Take care till then. Bye-bye.